Mic check.
Mic check. Pop this pussy boy.
Mic check. 2, 1.
Welcome to the 2.5 Citizens podcast.
I'm Zen.
And I love Sprite. And I'm Pablo. Sprite, send the check.
You wild dog. But we are out here, for starters. Let's get right into it. So for one, we took a break for the holidays.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just is what it is. Sometimes you gotta spend some time with the family.
Sometimes
dog.
you got to, bro.
Sometimes you have to be on that OTF shit on some only the family shit, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's what. Okay.
You didn't know what OTF stood for?
No. But now that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then when they did the voice of the hero, so that's Lil Durk teaming up with Lil Baby. Lil Baby's 4PF, which stands for 4 Pockets Full. So they did the OTF 4PF collab. They're only the family with 4 Pockets Full. It's a different vibe, dog. It's a whole different vibe out here in these streets. I, for one, before I get into all of the jolly and the hollies, I've been getting extremely into a rabbit hole of like gang YouTube videos.
Bro, wait, same.
Really? Like you've been watching Hip Hop Daily.
So I watched this British dude who's actually
Traplo Ross?
Yeah, he's actually really entertaining. And I'm like, how the hell are you in the UK just breaking down like the craziest like Chicago
things happening
gang
in like
wars?
Going down in like one specific neighborhood.
Yeah. Bro, like I know this dude from Chicago, and I was like, hey, bro. Granted, he's from like North Chicago, so I was like, hey, bro, what you know about O Block? And he's like, what? And I was like, never mind.
All right, so here's the thing that I start noticing. We got to silence our phones for starters. That's me. And what I've been noticing is like it's straight. I think about it like our city. It's straight up like a north versus south type of war with a lot of these places. O Block and all the people that they beef with are a 3-minute drive away.
Yeah.
So like it's not funny, but it's wild to see people act tough. I mean, they are tough. They're gang members and stuff, but they're on Instagram Live being like, I ain't even scared. I'm going to walk to the store right now.
And he's running, but he's like sprinting.
He's like sprinting.
Bro, yes, I saw that. I saw that.
Hold on, bro.
But he's like, I ain't even scared. Hey, hurry up, bro.
Hurry up. Let me just get a Gatorade.
Yeah, bro. And then the video where they went to go to see King Vong's mural.
And those like militant, like they're like, we outside. Hey, you go check off that street. We ain't afraid of nobody. Hey, you watch that other street over there. We just out here really on the corner.
Check that black SUV.
Yeah. And you're like, damn, bro, that's just to walk out of your apartments across the street to see a mural.
They've been locked up before the pandemic.
Yeah. Like, it's like that where anybody gets caught lacking just means like you saw them at the store.
The homie was at Trader Joe's buying milk.
He got caught lacking.
Yeah.
Like, what? Got caught just shopping?
Yeah.
It's wild in these streets. So I actually, and now that I've been getting really into this, I saw this little Durk clip where it's like Meek Mill's like, hey, I want to go to your hood. Yeah. And he's like, that's at your own risk, bro. Yeah. He's like, I ain't going to sit here and tell you good in my hood. I ain't even good in my hood.
Bro, but no, man, I was watching this one Traplo Ross video about, I forgot which one it was.
It was the killing of FBG. Dog.
Yes.
Bro, everything that you're getting, I saw that. Mind you, it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know. I love these videos. But, dude, I like watch them when I'm like making long drives. Like, they're just like it's like podcasting almost. But when it made me literally go back and listen to Durk's song "Shoulda Duck."
Dude, I'm like, tell you what.
And I'm like, this is the most disrespectful ass song.
I had been jamming. You have no idea. I had been jamming "Shoulda Ducked," right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know who FBG Duck was like that.
Yeah.
So whenever he's shouting people out, I don't know if he's disrespecting them or shouting them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like when
how
he's
high
shouting
do
Vaughn
you
out,
get? I said high as Duck, and I'm like, oh my! It all makes sense.
I was always saying that line.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over here just disrespecting people.
Yeah.
Just jamming in the car.
No idea. Yeah.
Just like I told my PO through the gate that I get high as fuck. He asked me how high do I get? I told him high as Duck. Tuca. Yeah. And then that's a shot at Tukaville, which is that other. So it's just getting wild, dog. Yeah. The streets is wild. Yeah. You start realizing
the FBI just like write that down.
And then now I'm like, all right. So this is actually getting me into some things because kind of recently you're actually seeing that the people who were responsible for FBG Duck's murder have been arrested. And the way that they do these racketeering things, you've seen it with a lot of these rappers lately, is like they paint the hottest rapper with the most money and paint them as the leader of the gang. And
because I think King Von was like the lead of that.
Of those people. So if King Von was still alive, he would have gotten brought in.
Right.
So now there's this song. And now I'm just kind of judging by songs because that's what we got right now.
That's all we got, yeah.
So Dirk keeps on talking about
Dirk, please stop self-snitching.
But he keeps on talking about I hang with all the murderers. I'm putting all the money for the murderers. I'm paying all the lawyers for the murderers.
No freaking way, Dirk, bro.
So I'm like, at this point, if Dirk's the one paying these people, I don't know now.
Paying the hits?
No, but if he's gonna, like, right now, I'm wondering how close can he stand to these people who got arrested for FBG Ducks thing, because they're all affiliates. So if he is paying for the lawyers, Von's gone now, and he is putting up the money, he might be the next to get caught up in a racketeering case. The case that Von and Dirk were fighting, if I'm not mistaken, it's still like open.
Yeah. The wild thing that like got King Von cut up was not even like his like Chicago beef. It was like random like
it was random
Rondo.
rap beef.
Yeah.
And so it was random rap beef because of NBA Youngboy, and so it's like
Quando Rondo. Well, like he was trying to fight Quando Rondo.
Yes, but what happened
school.
is like he was beefing with NBA Youngboy for whatever reason, right? Saying he has caps in his raps. Quando is NBA Youngboy's artist, so it's kind of like, hey, you fucking with the boss, you fucking with me.
Yeah.
So then they just start beefing on some rap shit, and then
it turned real somehow.
Von's just on some. If I see you, then it's on sight. Mind you, like there's still cases where they're like, yep, Von was after his death, being like, yep, Von was the killer in that. Yeah, Von was the killer in that. So like he was really out here killing people.
This crazy. I was listening to Crazy Story Part 3 on my way over here.
Bro, you wildin'.
I know.
Like you just choosing violence this morning.
I did just choose violence this morning.
And I don't know, like the more and more that I've been listening to it, like you look at like the who. It
was a crazy ass weekend. We missed 2 weeks, so I had to come in prepared for violence.
Honestly, because dude, I've been getting so into all this shit. Like going from that to like now I'm hearing Moneybagg Yo could have switched up on his gang and shit like that. It's crazy out in these streets. But let's get into some more current
These streets ain't loyal.
The streets are not. But speaking of things that we were both keeping up with and watching this week, you saw that Travis Scott interview with Charlamagne, right?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and we actually have different opinions about it. I think, before watching it, I was giving, Trav like the benefit of the doubt. I was like, maybe, there's more out there that like, I was like, it's a massive crowd. There's no way like he could see all of it. There's no way he could hear all of it. It's kind of difficult. But then I watched Trap Lord Ross's video on Astro World.
So I've been meaning to watch it, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
And that's when you're like, yo, Trav, and then doing that interview with Charlamagne, I'm like, yo, you wild. Because there's one clip where Travis is like, yo, is that an ambulance? And then he like takes it back. He's like, wait, no, what the fuck is that? He like pretends like he did, but like, and then Charlamagne asked him about that. He was like, so did you know it was an ambulance? And then he was like, no, I just thought it was some random lights. But I don't know. So it's hard. And then like for me, where he lost me was he was acting like, like that Eric Andre meme where he shoots Hannibal Buress and he's like, who could have ever done something like this? So it made me feel like he was having that energy, being like, yeah, we just got to figure out what happened. We got to figure out what happened. We got to figure out what happened. Kind of blaming the fans. And then,
well, I think, go ahead.
And then kind of trying to make himself the victim. And that's where, for me, I was like, I would have rather you not said nothing.
All right. So when I read you this,
but it's very much you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
This is something that I sent you in November 20th, whenever Academics posted it, and basically saying that lawsuits versus Travis Scott most likely will be dropped according to Yahoo Finance team. So it goes on to say the attorney further explained that the rapper would have to incite the violence through some sort of direct action. Under this criteria, Scott's reputation, lyrics, past behavior, and legal troubles are not enough to hold up in court. So you can be a very violent person in an area where there was a fight, but not have thrown a punch, he told. So the law requires him to engage in specific conduct that incites the incidents. What did he do at Astroworld that night? That's the question the courts will be asking, he continued, surmising that Scott likely will be dismissed from the case, barring no damning allegations come to light. So they say the financial burden will most likely fall on the security company and event promoters like Live Nation and Score More, but expect more finger pointing ahead. It's not uncommon for all of the defendants to start suing each other for identity and contribution if they are found liable, the lawyer noted. So that's November 20th. So now I think they know this. Like the lawyer, him and his lawyers have enough evidence to say, we're going to be good in this. Like we're going to be fine. But what's happening now, it's all about the public opinion. How do you save face? How can you, like, if he just doesn't say a single thing except for that apology that we made fun of, and then
watch that clip,
and then puts on the Instagram, 2.5 Pod, and so you go from like seeing that type of apology to him just like legitimately getting out legally. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" This is something he needs to put out to kind of be like, "We're still figuring things out," so that once they figure it out, that it's not their responsibility. They move on and they get to keep on going, but they've at least told the people something. So here's the thing with this is everyone's going to pick it apart and say, oh, well, this and this about him and this about him. I kind of care, but that's also just people like trying to like voice an opinion. For just because. So I think about like, what's the reality, right? So what's going to happen? Well, I don't think that any of his real fans are going to stop going to his shows if he chooses to have another show or put out an album. And people who don't like him want to hear if he's going to address anything if he puts out an album. So I don't think it's going to affect his sales. It's going to affect his commercial stuff because we just saw that report that Cacti removed their stuff.
You were saying it probably wasn't even performing well to begin with. And this
probably not because it's been less than a year.
And then like, I never tried it, but allegedly I've heard from multiple sources that it was ass anyway.
It was all right. I literally, but I guess so, because I got it twice.
But it's such a saturated market, though, now, the seltzer game, that if your product is subpar, there's so many, like, choices.
Yeah. So I don't think that was it. And so, like, you see, it's going to mess with his brand partnership. But even people that I know now that weren't caring about going to a Travis Scott show kind of want to go now to see what the hype's about. So it really does show... It's going to mean more whenever they come up with the solution. If the solution is those smart bands that measure your heart rate and do all that stuff, and he personally invests all this money, even though he has no financial liability to the suit anymore, and so it's seeming like he's still trying to help the situation, even though he legally doesn't have to, then that might be the best way for him to save face.
That also kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where he was like, if I got to be the one that takes the bullet for everybody, I'll do it. And I'm like,
well, because Charlemagne asked him that. It's the truth. Let's be real.
It's the truth.
I had a lot of holiday arguments with people because everyone's easiest thing is to be like, Travis is such a monster. That's the only person you see.
Yeah.
That's the only person you see.
Well, Travis and Drake.
Yeah.
Drake is a little wild because he was off stage doing all that. I don't know how much gets back there.
I don't think anything does. I mean, if the things aren't even going on your earpiece, but he's in the back. He's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seeing what's going on. But
well, so I'm not going to say who, but I may or may not know somebody that was with the artists.
And say they heard something?
Bro, they told me that they saw, this is where them helps a lot.
All right. This is where those pronouns come in handy?
Yeah. They told me that basically they saw people like doing like CPR on like golf carts and stuff, like all that wild stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know where in the timeline that is. So take that for
true, because he does say once the guest goes, I mean, they tell him in his ear, once the guest gets off being Drake,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
But they don't say why. He says he doesn't know anything until minutes before.
Oh, he did say HPD capped on him.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
He did say if you're going to change anything from the itinerary, which we didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a face. You can see that person to be like, that person, can you believe he's doing this? And then
I do believe that HPD capped on him.
I believe it too. And then I'm looking at they're looking at the social media and can you believe he's posting this? Can you believe he's doing that? But you're not tripping about Live Nation still doing other concerts you're not thinking about all that. How come Live Nation gets to still keep on making money off concerts? I'm already seeing Live Nation events all the time, everywhere. They didn't take a break to help the people mourn because you don't see them as a person.
Yeah, they're an entity. And
so that's why it's like, cool, you can say Travis this, Travis that. He's already going to have to take all the bullets. He's already the face. He's already named and everything. And now the people who are actually responsible are probably going to get all, held. And it's not going to be easy for him. It's not like he just gets off. He still has to build his reputation up. He still has to hope this does. I don't think he'll ever get to that level again.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole thing where you have a specific person that you can point the finger at. You have a specific group of people that you can be like, it's their fault. But companies that are not if something happens with Rock Nation, you're like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But if something happens with Sony, you don't think about who the fuck the head of Sony is.
Yeah.
Some people who are nerds might know, but the average person's like, Sony. You don't even think about the fact that like Sony is y'all's PlayStations too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because there's just so much, just like there's so many pieces to this Travis Scott machine. But it's one of those things where like, all right, with all these concerts and stuff, you see that they're still running their business. They're still kind of going about
like
things the way they want
is still doing their thing. And you know what I think is weird? Sorry, not to cut you off, but like I think it's weird that kind of how you were saying in our past episode, where it's weird that like whenever there's legal trouble with rappers, you know, they throw the FBI at him, but Marilyn Manson can say all this wild stuff. Clear proof that he's being the person he sings about, and then like there's no cases that we know of.
Exactly.
Same thing I think with this now is like Harry Styles was ever to come to Houston. I have nothing against Harry Styles, like nothing. I like his music, cool guy. But Meg had a concert.
Oh, y'all be hanging?
Yeah, bro. We know each other, bro. We share grandma sweaters.
Oh, okay.
But Meg was having a concert in Houston, and she decided to cancel. So it's like, is it just like we're just punished for like hip hop? Like the city's just punished for hip hop? Like y'all are not allowed? Kind
of. So like I'm looking at the Rodeo Houston lineup, right? And we've had some pretty good in recent years, some pretty good performers for like the Rap Day or the Black Heritage Day, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's usually like we had Chance the Rapper once. We had like
right before
Cardi
COVID.
B. Yeah, we had Cardi B. Yeah, I saw Chance the Rapper right before COVID. We had like Cardi B one of these years. Like we're having some pretty good performers. I'm looking at the rap category, and not that it's anything bad, but in comparison to what we were really getting, we're getting Bun B's H-Town Takeover.
That actually kind of sounded live.
It's cool and all. It's on festivals, but my thing is like when I see this, I'm like, are they kind of just playing it safe? Like that's like older people and like some, but you're not getting these young fans that are gonna come over here.
Yeah. It's just gonna be the old heads with like their swangers.
So so it's like the old heads with swangers who are probably just leaned out. No one's trying to get all wild.
Yeah.
So you got country, and then you're gonna get your rap. I'm gonna see what the R&B and pop is. But what I'm saying is,
what the Hano Night looking like?
It doesn't say yet. So there's only like a few that got announced, right? And the rap was the one that got announced. So it's like there's not even. It's not going to be. We're not going to get anything cool in any of the pop ones, or probably any of the R&B ones. So our only one was a Black Heritage Day, and it's like not subpar, so to say, but just not for the youth.
Right.
And it's like those are the ones who were kind of like at the Travis Scott show. It seems like when Alicia sent this to me, she literally was just like, "That's all for rap. Like that's all we're getting."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's like we're grounded, bro.
It really be feeling like that.
Yeah.
And people keep on saying like, well, what about holding the fans responsible? Well, if you hold the fans responsible, I say that that's like a reflection of the artist.
Well, so also, and then people will be like, well, that's victim blaming.
True, and yeah, because there's a lot of people like who determines who's a victim and who actually got hurt and who was an aggressor in the crowd. Right, if you're just saying the crowd.
Because I mean, I've heard accounts from people that were there where it's like, yo, it wasn't even that wild because I was all the way in the back because I don't really care like that.
Yeah, I was hearing a lot of that kind of like. I was in the back. That I saw people passing out, but I didn't see no CPR or no like crazy shit like that. I was just back here doing my thing. I was like, what was day 2 about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can see that if you're in different parts, you're not going to see everything. It's not like, there was probably a section of chaos, but in the sea of people, that wasn't necessarily everybody's experience.
And it's crazy that like, not to like even try to blame any more artists, but like, no one's getting mad at like everybody else that performed
because nothing happened there.
I mean, it's still pretty hectic, but yeah, you're right. And I guess the only one that the people deemed had a great response was Roddy Ricch, where he was like, "I'm donating all my earnings to like
to help these people and stuff like that." So
speaking about donating earnings, bro. Ye and Drake, they being Wild Boys.
All right. So I wanted to get into the fact that they had this concert in general. Did you watch any of it?
No, I did not.
All right, so it was streamed on Prime, and I was gonna watch it, but it was at 10 o'clock on a school night. Yeah, and I was like, I ain't doing that shit. Maybe 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock on a work night.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't staying up to watch Kanye and Drake Okay, regardless, I end up. I don't know if it's still available on Prime, but like after the fact. But I was just scrolling through YouTube and I saw it.
It probably is.
It probably is, but I saw it on YouTube, so I said, let me just click this out. Skim through, try to go through. Let's talk about the first. bit of news from that, right? Which is that hours before this concert, Kim Kardashian goes on and says, hey, I want to be like legally single.
Yeah, which was wild because I guess Kanye's not been wanting to sign the papers.
I guess. So she basically goes like, look, I just want my marital status separate from like the child custody and the money and all that stuff. So I just want to be legally single and I want to get my last name back, right? Which originally she said she wasn't going to.
Homie out here simping, bro.
So look, so she said like, she's like, I'm not going to change my last name, but I guess he wildin'. So she's just like, all right, just give me my name back. I just want to be legally single so I can, you know, do
Which
shit
was,
with Pete.
it was, I kind of, I feel bad for her in the sense, not that I feel bad for her. I don't actually feel bad for her, but I like it. That's kind of like, it must be annoying. That's a better word. It must be annoying to have him be like on Drink Champs being like, that's my wife, that's my wife, that's my wife. And then like she's out here like trying to date Pete, but then she's also like, wait, hold up, he also had girlfriends. Like y'all just gonna ignore that?
Exactly. But it makes salacious news, and that's all they kind of care about. So I think she's vibing. But you go from that to hours later, he's on his concert, right? And he's singing Runaway. And at the end, he goes, run back to me, more specifically, Kimberly. Dang. So he says that shit, dog. Sam. It gets the whole crowd in their feelings, dog. Damn. Everyone online is wilding in the comment section because she's over here with Pete trying to be single again.
Bro, I could just see Pete like in the bed, like with his stupid laugh that he goes, nah.
Yeah, and the second that he like sees that, like just
like nah, Kim, look at this.
But mind you, I feel like he's a fan still. You know what I mean? So I bet you it's like a weird place for him.
He like loves hip hop, so
there's no way he's not a Kanye music fan. Yeah. And be like, oh, I want to watch Kanye and Drake on the low. You know what I mean? And then be like, oh. So that happens. For some reason, Kanye was covering Drake songs, like "Find Your Love."
That's whatever.
So he was out here like doing that kind of thing.
I mean, does he have production credits on it?
I don't know. But the funny thing was he was doing all that, and, you know, Drake's vibing. Drake comes up and seems to almost perform every song that people have suspected had Kanye disses. Yeah. Like,
oh, like to his face?
Like, I mean, yeah, like not to his face, but like right after that, like Kanye gets off. Yeah. And it's like he starts with I think I need to go live with Jesus. I need me some Jesus. And then it's like goes on to like 666. And he does the laugh now, cry later, which people were saying was riddled with like,
sneak
you know,
disses.
Yeah, this shit ain't a closable gap, and all that kind of stuff. And then like, what is he goes through like just all these things where I'm like, weren't those all Kanye disses? And so I think Kanye is just like, they know what they're doing, I feel like. Yeah. And so it was an interesting performance, the way it looked and everything.
I know people got the old yay. Was he cursing?
I didn't think about that. Probably.
I know he performed Can't Tell Me Nothing. Yeah. Everyone freaked out because it's like, oh, yay.
That's when Drake jumped on. Drake jumped on when he performed that shit. Because for me, one of the hardest lines in rap history is the first line of that song.
Wait till I get mom.
No. He goes, I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. And I told like,
God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless.
And so when I heard that the first time, when it comes in, I'm like, what the fuck did he just say?
And it's like so hard. Like that beat's like, whoa, whoa.
So that's where I'm like, when you see that, you realize, okay, like Kanye and Drake are doing their thing. And like Drake's here like saying, you know, this has always been like a fantasy to be on stage with one of the greatest performing some of the best music catalog and
what's up with
history.
all the gloves everybody wearing? Is it because of Omicron?
Nah, I mean, I think everyone just thinks they're a freaking like an athlete. Like Drake has a Nike deal, so it's like I'm gonna wear Nike gloves like I'm an athlete, and then throws one off. So now he's one gloving like Michael Jackson. I think he's just playing on like pop star tropes like that and mix it in with like I play because you see all these videos. He's out there playing basketball like every fucking day in his house. Yeah. So like, I think it's a mix of I'm out here. This is game time. You know what I mean? Like he's praying right before, and he's like, all right, like it's game time right now. Let's get pumped, which is cool. But you know, it's a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Ye play any Jesus songs?
He played some stuff off of like. I don't remember like anything off Jesus King. He did have a choir. But I don't. But it's like he plays songs to preach. He does do some preaching, some praying.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm like, okay, he really on some like that shit, like. You know the kind of prayer I'm talking about, like some Southern Baptist prayer.
Yeah. Some prayer that it's like if he's the one praying and we about to eat, like you're like, no, fuck, I'm hungry. Did
you see his long ass Thanksgiving prayer?
No, but I would have been pissed just sitting there like, no way, bro.
But he had a lot to say. It was actually pretty good. I won't even cap.
I mean, I know I saw the part where he was like, is my family E? Is my family Hulu? Something like that.
Forget about that. He be on some weird shit like that. It's the Kardashian shit. I forget. Yeah, he be on some wild shit.
Yeah.
But we got into this to say that allegedly. Now I didn't do too much more research on this, but Drake and Kanye did this as a free Larry Hoover benefit type thing, like event. I don't understand how that. Like, not to shit on it, but I don't understand how them performing helps free Larry Hoover. Like, what was I supposed to do after watching the concert? Because I watched it.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to sign a petition?
Yeah.
Or was I supposed to, like, call the DA or something like that and, like...
Oh, because they didn't tell you what to do?
No, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just performed.
Oh, no.
They just performed and had Free Larry Hoover on their shirts. So I was like, I see, this is what brought it together. This has to be a big thing, but what was it supposed to do? Did they say, hey, if y'all perform together, we'll let Larry Hoover out? Like, I don't understand.
Jay Prince worked the deal, like
right. So I'm kind of confused. It's like, are we trying to raise money? Like, what are we trying to do?
The judge is a secret like Drake Kanye fan,
right? And he's like, I just want to see the beef squashed.
Yeah.
So
say less.
So we'll perform together on stage so everyone knows. I don't know. So I'm like. And they're doing it in LA because, like, that's where, like, most of the gangs were born. And that's where all these, like, Larry Hoover specific gang. Actually, I don't know if that came out of Chicago or LA. But regardless, they perform in all of LA where the biggest gangs and stuff like that are. But then I'm hearing that the merchandise that they sold for it is not going to a charity and is for profit.
That's hilarious.
So I'm like, literally, what was this for? Like,
who was this for?
Yeah. So I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the very end, so I don't know if Larry Hoover Jr. ended up coming out and saying anything because Larry Hoover Jr. has been the biggest one in the fight for trying to get Larry Hoover out.
Yeah.
So like he was on Kanye's album to talk about it.
Yeah, he was on this Part 2 Drink Champs to talk about it.
So I just don't understand like what this was supposed to accomplish because I didn't do anything other than watch. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like
you just watched the concert online.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? What's supposed to come from that? So, I mean, they came together for the common purpose, I guess, which is money. And they're vibing.
Yeah.
So, let's get into a few other things here, though. And some other news. It's been a while since we've been out, and we're actually trying to collect all the things of like what has happened and things. And one of the biggest is the crazy situation that happened.
One of the biggest and the saddest.
Yeah. Is the situation that happened with Virgil.
Yeah.
So it's Virgil Abloh.
Virgil.
Yeah, Virgil Abloh, who created a lot of the brands that like we know and love and like the culture knows and loves, and worked on a bunch of things starting with like I remember when I was in like high school and
Pyrex?
people was wearing those Pyrex shorts
because of A$AP Rocky.
And I was like, what is this? Like what's going on? I'd see all like the swag kids wearing it and then later on, that fades away, and then Justin Bieber starts wearing Off-White, and I'm like, people start talking about this designer brand that's like streetwear or designer meets streetwear, and I'm like,
that's
what's that?
And
then you start seeing Off-White go crazy, all the Nikes, and you start finding out who this Virgil character is, who's like worked on Yeezy Season 1 with Jerry Lorenzo and Kanye, and I always forget the guy who does Balenciaga, and like you're like, what is going on here? He's making some crazy things, some of the biggest like buzzworthy items that like everybody wants right now in all sorts of facets. Like he can seem to oversaturate the market and it still be so precious because it's just so unique.
I mean, what I thought was crazy with the very first the very first Off-White collab was the Chicago ones, and to take a already coveted, highly coveted shoe and not just bump it up a little bit, but create a whole nother like lane for it, make it even more coveted than it could have ever been. Like, thought was possible for an audience that didn't even care. Because I think when that dropped was when sneaker culture was starting to become in the mainstream. It wasn't fully there,
but it was like coming up. I think like people were kind of wanting to get back into some of these other shoes and find out about other things. And
right.
It's just weird because like then you see him go from all that like just being loved in the culture to breaking through to becoming like the creative director for Louis Vuitton on the men's side and being like, how the fuck did that happen? For one, before Kanye, right? And like all that,
which he never let it go.
Never, even to the end. But we'll get into that a little more. But it's crazy to hear that. Like I've been hearing this as a common theme where you find out these people are like sick and dying.
I mean, Chadwick.
Don't tell anybody.
Chadwick was one of them.
Norm Macdonald. Yeah, had just like that comedian. He just died, and it was the same type of situation. Had cancer, didn't tell anybody because I think it like.
I mean, I don't know that no one knows what MF Doom had, but
I mean, there's a lot of these things where it's like, it just happens, and then now we're like, wait, we did not expect this to happen at all. You know what I mean? Like, this came completely out of left field, and we're like, just left here to be like, wait, so he was at the top. Like, we expected so much more to come from this, and then like done.
For me, the crazy thing that I've realized for Virgil was like, I see literally everybody in what this culture is. Just like being like Virgil was awesome, sharing like DMs that he would like talk to them, always hyping people up. Like skaters were like posting stuff, and not even like old head skaters, like the new guys.
Yeah, pretty much. It seemed like even though I don't know if he knew or paid attention to how crazy and coveted he was as a person. When the spotlight was supposed to be on him,
or he never let it get to him.
He always seems to share like appreciation for like the other people who were involved in the process. And it's always crazy to be like someone who can like look at that and be like, I know that this means something to people. I know that like being the person to recognize that, not just be zoned in on your own thing, like actually being immersed in the art. That was like the crazy thing. And of course, because of that, everybody has lines with Virgil's, like Drake being like most specifically, and Kanye. So, like, there's so many songs throughout that whole concert where it's like, Virgil got that paddock on my wrist going nuts. Or, like, there's only two of them. Right? There's only two, me and Virgil, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Something like that, yeah.
So, there's, like, all those type of things. And it just makes me wonder sometimes, like, I know that was the whole passion and stuff, but you're trying to kind of remember him, right? And it's a weird thing where I think about, like, you can literally only remember him with materialistic things because that was his legacy. You know what I mean? Leaving these gems on earth. Yeah. So like when I'm hearing Drake say this, like I know he's like, man, shout out Virgil, but I'm just thinking like it almost sounds superficial to just be like, Virgil got that paddock on my wrist going nuts. Well, I think where it's like I get it. I know where it's like the vision and I know everything he put into it, but it's like, man, it's crazy how intertwined he was with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like what design actually does for people. Yeah. What material items can actually mean beyond just that item.
I mean, dude, Virgil cost like crazy lines at IKEA.
Yeah.
Like IKEA. You know, but I think with like the material stuff, like, yeah, it's hard, but it's also he was an artist. So he would create, obviously the things you create are material. Yeah. I think a lot of his sneakers, there's some of them where I was like, I couldn't see myself wearing that, but I could see myself putting it like as a...
I think it's the way we describe it. So like, okay, if you think about a famous artist who died, right? Like artist who painted things. Yeah. You would think about when you would remember them, it would be like the art was just so beautiful. You know, it was just so like, you would have all these adjectives that kind of seemed respectful. As opposed to like now that it's like, man, that painting was expensive as fuck. Now it's gonna be more expensive. It's a hard ass flex though. Like it just seems different. It seems like when you even think about the art now, it's not so man, like this is just so breathtaking and wonderful to see. Is look how much I got on my fucking wrist though.
I see what you're coming.
You feel me?
Yeah, I see. That's the part that doesn't sit well with you.
Where it just seems, it doesn't seem as genuine. Because if it wasn't like a hot thing.
When everyone like started flipping Kobe shoes, basically.
Yeah. And so now it's like people are doing that shit with all like the Off-White stuff now.
It all
and
like
it's like
skyrocketed.
if you wanted it, you weren't gonna be able to get it before. You're definitely not getting it now.
Yeah,
and that's where it's like I get it. There, it's because it means something, but it also seems like they don't care about the meaning.
You know what seemed kind of like not dark, but like I was like, oh man, that's kind of sad. Like, what if I felt like he always knew, and I remember like this whole summer, this like leading up to this point, he just dropped a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, did he drop, like, I'm now looking back, I'm like, did he drop all that because he knew something was going to happen to him? And that's why he did that huge rollout of, like, every single colorway of, like, this thing and, like, all of this. And
probably, because I thought the same thing. I'm like... Because
I remember us being like, damn, bro, like, there's so many dropping. Like, it's crazy. Like, you're probably going to take an L on all of them, but still, like, this is a lot.
Yeah, but that's the weird thing to me is, like, they're diluting your product, like... What, like, this doesn't make sense in like the scheme of the way that this business goes.
Yeah.
But like you said, he probably had more of like a, hey, I'm gonna give it all in case I don't have the time. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna keep on going and keep on going.
Yo, this man also made all like fake customs people would do like on Air Forces, what they would do like the Louis, I mean, you know, the Gucci patches and all that.
Yeah.
He made the real version of that, bro.
I know, he made it come to life. Like he said, hey, we gonna really do this shit.
Yeah, he was like,
he was listening.
Yeah, he was like, I know everybody wants this. Here it is.
And now you're gonna feel ashamed wearing it because you know you'd be out here with the fake customs and people know that shit was never fucking made.
Yeah,
and
but
so
now
you're like now it's really made.
Yeah.
So it was just it's cool to look at the memory and remember what. That's one thing at least about the material is you're not going to forget because they'll just always be there. You know what I mean? Like you'll always be able to see these things, and it makes me wonder now, like if we don't already have it, when do we get the museum? You know what I mean? Of like of streetwear to fashion, because that's a crazy road starting from the streets to the Met Gala, basically. You know what I'm saying? Going from like the streets of New York or all these like
I mean that'd be
hoods and
sick.
shit.
That'd be such a sick idea for a museum. You'd have
Like
like you could have like sections. You could have like the Polo, like Ralph Lauren, like New York section, with like the Timbs and all that. You'd have like the workwear, like the skate. And
seeing how that all came together to be what the fuck it is today, because it's such a weird mashup now.
And then like you throw in like all the like Japanese culture too that like changed the game.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a whole other thing. It's like someone going over there and being like, yo, what they got going on over here is insane with all the Nego shit and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like it would be so crazy. There has to be something, right? It's just a matter of finding it. If not, dog, we're gonna have to make some phone calls and start.
We might have to.
Might have to start making some phone calls. So let us know if we got to do that shit.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna call it the Free Larry Hoover Museum, and we're just gonna keep all the proceeds.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do anything with it, but we gonna let y'all know.
Free Larry Hoover.
They need to free Larry Hoover.
Yeah.
So
it's free advertising for them. So thank you. So actually, you're welcome.
Yeah, honestly, because we ain't gonna charge on nothing for that. Like we gonna do it on the house. But and some other news, and this is the thing. And look, I've had a vendetta.
Speaking of having for-profit fronts,
honestly. And this is like I'm not. I've already just disliked him in general, so
I'd never liked this man.
I'm gonna just keep that a buck, like just put that out there.
Houston scum.
So, y'all's boy Joel Osteen, mega church pastor for Lakewood Church here in Houston, Texas, who I don't know if it ended up happening, but went on tour, was allegedly going on tour with Kanye around the country. Only time other than like I used to go to Lakewood when I was younger because my grandma wanted to go to the Spanish service with Marcos Huit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way...
Shout out Marcos Huit.
By the way, a white dude, just a straight up white dude.
Nah, bro, he's not white.
No, he's white, but he grew up in Mexico, like with some people out there, so he just knew Spanish.
Yeah.
But he was white. Like, I'm almost 100%.
Nah, bro,
his name's
just
Marco. Like, if you have to Huit, that means that there's not a Mexican name. That means it's not a fucking Mexican name. All right?
Yeah.
They don't make names they can't pronounce. All right?
Yeah.
His name's fucking Marco White.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. But nah, bro.
All this to say that after that, the only time I was going was the one time that Kanye pulled up.
Yeah.
And best believe me and the squad went to Lakewood.
Yeah.
But I know what it is.
I'm not going to cap, though. The only concerts I went to growing up, because I wasn't allowed to go to concerts until I became an adult, were at Lakewood. It was like Christian concerts, and I was hating my life.
Were you vibing with it or no?
No, I was just like, I was trying to vibe with it because, then people would look at me like, why you ain't vibing? You don't love Jesus?
And it's a stadium. You're in a stadium where they used to play basketball.
Yeah.
Worshiping God. Like, it's a weird situation. But all that to say that apparently a few years
we got to
ago,
become plumbers for Lakewood. Is all I'm going to say, bro. I'm trying to hit the jackpot, boy.
I don't know the exact timeline because I don't care that much. But a few years ago, there was a robbery at the church where
Allegedly
where $60,000 in cash and checks were missing.
Which is cap. It is the most cap statement I've ever heard in my life. You mean to tell me that you got almost $500,000 missing and you just not going to look for it? You just not going to look for it?
$60K and $500,000.
You're getting close.
No, dog, you ain't nowhere near it. I thought back. But I also heard two different statements. So tell me.
Because I've heard different amounts.
I heard 120 at first.
I've heard different amounts.
Well, here's what I know. 60K was found, okay? 60K in checks and cash were found in the wall of the church.
See, I heard 600.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard. That's why I was like, this man is a wild boy.
All right. Yeah, because I've been hearing 60K, which is a lot, but for the grand scheme of the church.
The grand scheme of the church is not. That's why I thought the 600, I was like, that's more believable.
So let me see. I'm just trying to glance and see if anything. What the fuck did you send me this pickle cranberry pie for? I'm trying to. This is disgusting, dog. Let me get out of this thread because
I need you to see the caucasity of it all.
So I sent this to you when I was in the airport.
Yes, bro.
And I saw this shit dropping.
DJ Academics, Joel Osteen's Houston church had $600K inside a wall. 2014 robbery. Plumber claims.
Okay. Now. That's wild. So
that's what I'm saying.
So let's go into this, and if we're gonna say that that's 100% true, which I'm gonna keep on rolling with that, right?
Yeah, because that one just sounds wilder and more fun.
If that's how it goes, right? You're gonna report the robbery and stuff, but I'm trying to think of the correlation. Who would hide the money? And why? Are they supposed to come back for it?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense, bro.
None of this makes sense on why it's hidden in there.
Exactly.
Because you would think...
Wait, can we put our tinfoil hats on? This is the only time I'll put my tinfoil hat on.
Tinfoil hat on, dog.
All right, bro, the wildest thing in the world would be that Joel Osteen's laundering money.
Okay. That would be wild. And I'm trying to think, that's the dirty money that hasn't been cleaned yet, maybe?
Yeah.
But you're a church, so you don't technically have to launder, right? Because you don't pay taxes.
No. Those checks aren't even real, members of the congregation. So that's how they're trying to clean it. Exactly.
But to me, doesn't it just seem easy? That'd be wild. But hiding it in the wall is we're going to handle this later. It's such a weird thing. And then
unless it was an inside job.
I don't know if it's that big. I don't know if Joel Osteen had anything to do with it, because if you did, you would make sure that no one fucks with that restroom or
yeah. Well, I mean, that would make sense why nobody was able to go into the church during Hurricane Harvey.
Right? They're we ain't trying to have y'all find shit.
Yeah,
in the fucking walls and stuff.
No.
So it's a weird thing because that number too, he deals with so much money with the church that is a lot.
Yeah. This man owns a plane, bro. Have you seen his estate? Pull up his estate, bro. Pull up his estate. I'm not saying house. This man has an estate.
All right. So let's look at this Joel Osteen. Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, bro. It's 4 houses. And not just 4 little houses. It's 4
huge ass houses. So you have all right. This right here in the front, when the grand entry or whatever we want to call it, is already a normal
mansion
super
that you
nice
would see in River Oaks.
Exactly. Then you have all these side houses, the garage area over here is 2 times the size. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 times the size of the entry house.
Yeah.
Then you can tell there's more garages or rooms or whatever the fuck here to make the entire big main mansion. You go through the back, and you if you're at the White House with all these green fountains before you get to the triple pool.
Yep.
Where there's a pool house that's double the size of that entry house.
Yeah, bro. Like this
Then
is
you have a
wild.
side house over here. Then you have a side house. Oh, you have a little shed. Yeah, this shit's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is a ridiculous estate. Like, no one needs this much space.
No, that's why I said he doesn't have a house. He's got an estate, bro.
This is insane, dog. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This is the end.
Yeah.
God damn, dog.
So that's an old picture because the pool don't look like that. It's bigger now.
Yeah, he changed it up.
Yeah.
This is an insane estate. No, bro. He took away some of his house because it was too big. Look at this old picture.
Oh,
look at the pool.
yes,
then he
bro.
expands the pool and then takes away some of the house to add this little area.
Yeah,
'Cause he's like, we got too much house.
But he shifted it. He put it to the yeah. Bro, you a wild boy.
I know. You know how much? And then he covered it with trees because he said, damn, this was a little too open. Too many people can see me.
Yeah.
Now we hiding.
Yeah,
We
bro.
hiding.
Joel, you a wild boy, bro.
So all this to say,
Son,
I've
what do
been
you
waiting
think
for
he
the
was doing?
downfall.
What
Look,
do you think
I
he was
don't know,
doing?
man. I've been waiting for the downfall of Joel Osteen for a long time. Like I've been on this shit since Hurricane Harvey. I've been on this shit before Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah, I mean, I've never trusted him. Like when I would see his books, I'd be like, this man looks like he has no soul.
Here's when I like want to know the craziest thing, and I was so young. Mm-hmm. But
It's that kid intuition, bro.
when I was like a kid and we would show up here, and then right afterwards, my mom would take me to the gift shop, basically the bookstore,
Yeah.
and I would go and get merch so I could basically, as long as I'm buying Jesus stuff, people feel like it's okay. So I'm wearing like guitar picks and it says "Pick Jesus," and I'm buying I'm getting a Bible and I'm getting these guitar pick necklaces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's kind of wild that like I thought about like the business. I'm like, it made me think of the same thing. Like anytime you go to an amusement park, you always end up in the gift shop.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
and they'll always mention to you that everything's at the bookstore. Everything like the kid would want you to go, you know, and you can pick these things up at the bookstore.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead and go over here afterwards to the
Yeah.
bookstore. And I'm like, this is really wild.
I mean,
And they made it so enticing. And I'm like, this is a business.
you know what's the wildest thing I've ever seen? Another big church like Hillsong, their
Yeah.
merch is just basically riffing off Off-White.
Bro, your church was doing that.
No,
I was seeing the drops, dog.
No, bro.
Bro, I remember the stories
No.
being like, is Pablo behind it or is he just kind of pushing it? I'm like, who's the one that's
Nah.
saying, let's rip off White and then do this?
We didn't rip off Off-White.
You ripped off the
Fear,
Kanye.
we ripped off Fear of God, first of all.
All right, dog. You see what I'm saying?
No, just.
So it's like,
But we're a little church, bro. They're like huge. I don't know how they don't get in trouble.
because how you going to look suing a church? How you going to look suing God?
You're not suing God. You're suing the person.
Yeah, but if they're like, it's weird though because it
Ain't no
depends-
way this man a man of God, bro. Look at his estate.
All right, well, he's not doing it, but I'm talking about Hillsong because I kind of like their songs. But look,
I do too.
now, but it makes me wonder. It all depends on where that money's going,
Yeah.
right? We dealt with this kind of situation when we had that conversation about your boy off that one podcast, the Battle Ready one, because he was a pastor and then he started selling streetwear, not ripping off somebody.
Yeah, it was just his own, which I would give you a pass because it's like he wasn't selling it. Like it's not like you walked into the church and then like his like boutique is in there.
Yeah,
Like he had his own store, separate name. Like he didn't mention the church at all. It was all his name.
but
I respect that more over like.
I know more, but at the same time, what's the difference? What is the church using the money for? You feel me? Are they putting it back into the community?
Ain't no way going back to the community, bro.
True, but I'm talking about Hillsong right now.
He's got it. Look up his net worth, bro. Look up his net worth, bro.
I was like, I already know. You don't have to convince me of Joel Osteen.
Nah, bro. It's like you defending him. It's like he your boy.
I'm defending Hillsong, and I'm not even defending Hillsong. I'm asking questions. I like how it doesn't pop up.
It's
43
hidden, bro.
million a year in collections.
Allegedly.
So Osteen is estimated to have a net worth of over 50 million.
Yeah.
With his church taking in 43 million a year in collections. Ain't that wild?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then of course you don't pay taxes
Yo,
because you're a church.
I can't wait for him to spin this and being like, oh man, because he's a dude that's like, if you like donate like all your money, then Jesus is gonna give you even more money.
Because he's the one that actually he tries to like preach that wealth and prosperity is not a bad thing.
I mean, it's not. It's just how you do with it. Like they're all tools. Like it's not bad to like have money. It's bad to love money and be a greedy piece of crap.
Yeah, I feel that. So it's like, where does... I never trust big churches.
I don't either.
Where does it stop? So if you're a church and you're actually making a difference,
Mm-hmm.
where is it like... You know what I mean? Like, what about...
what's the balance?
How can you be a naturally big growing church? I think about Hope City.
Yeah.
Hope City is one of these churches that people are like,
Okay.
that's the one.
I don't want to bash on Hope City. And this is not me bashing on Hope City. I'm a Christian. I don't know what I have to preface with that, but Elvira and I have been looking for a church. We went to Hope City. We thought it was cool, but it felt a little watered down to us. I'm not trying to like talk mess on a Pastor Jeremy.
He was funny though. He had some jokes.
Yeah.
I live streamed once.
He's a good preacher. But this is my one critique of Hope City, and this is my opinion. I'm not saying anything. You can listen to me, you can not listen to me. I don't care. Was that they have a VIP section, and to me that just feels elitist.
I feel that. So how does that VIP section work? Like, what is it?
It's basically for like your new guests and like your huge donors.
I see that.
New guests if you like know someone though. Like you have to know someone in. Like if you're just a random new guest, like ain't no way you're making it.
So it's the sweet tickets of the church.
Yeah, basically.
This shit wild, dog.
Yeah,
they got like a buffet and shit.
Yeah, bro.
They got personal communion.
Yeah. You get your own parking spot.
That's just crazy.
So that's where I was like, okay, this is a little too much.
Because that's the one place where everyone should kind of feel like they're in the same.
Yeah, we're on the same.
We're all hearing the same message, meaning like we're trying to apply the same things to our lives. Like
exactly,
we're praying to the same God.
Mm-hmm.
Here together as a congregation, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
because I bet you it started off innocently, where it was like some people being like, I come from across town. I hate having to sit all the way in the back. If I could just reserve my seat and then, I'll tithe 20% instead of. Ooh, that shit wild,
bro.
Dog.
That reminds me. That's how it was at Memorial. Elvira told me that them rich parents were like they had bidding wars for like parking spots.
How?
What you mean, bro? Remember our days at back in JV when we couldn't find spots?
Damn, dog.
So it'd be parents being like, "No, my child deserves to have the spot right in front of because he's an athlete, even though he sucked." He needs to be right in front of like the gym, so 50 grand.
God damn.
Or like 20K.
Dude, that's just crazy. Nah, that wouldn't be me. I'd be like,
nah, that could not be me. I'd be
walking.
Even if I had it, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I'd be like, nah, you parking in the back and you walking.
So that my biggest fear, no cap, bro. My biggest fear is to like kind of start making it by the time I have kids. And if I'm successful by the time my kid's like in elementary school, where they really try to rope you in with the PTA, and to have some like bored suburbs like housewife trying to make me and Elvira feel bad because we don't want to join the PTA, bro. I really do. I like dread that. That's like my biggest.
You just
nightmare.
go on full aggressive Mexican, like just be the kind of person they don't want there. Show up one day and start.
Just acting up.
Here's what I would do. I would show up and be the Karen. To where they just don't want me there ever again. Be like, hey, don't invite him back because he just be demanding things.
Yeah.
I'll start being like, for one, where the fuck are the paper straws?
Yeah.
Where the fuck are the paper straws? This is a ridiculous.
Stacey, is this hummus gluten free? Is it really gluten free?
How often do you guys have peanut sniffing dogs come through the school?
Yeah.
Like, just be ridiculous. But. Okay, can I tell you one thing that's been on my mind lately?
Yeah.
I've been kind of wondering, like, what if I become a lawyer not for the career, but for the content, like, because there's been so many cases lately where I've been kind of getting into law where I'm like, oh shit, I get it. So like the way, like, I was like, what if I pass the bar and stuff just to kind of be on YouTube and be like, nah, cap. Nah, they're gonna get away. Be like, just to know, not because I want to like do the job or anything like that, but just pass the bar for the podcast.
Hey, do it, bro.
So all that to say, like, there's been some crazy cases. Like, it starts with, seeing the Travis Scott stuff, and I'm like, okay. I see the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, and I'm like, all right, I understand why people are mad, but the law is the law. That's what you start realizing, like, because your feelings and the law are different.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah,
that's why we're always like, free this person. It's like, well, the law isn't going to allow that. But it's also like, hey, lock that person up. Well, according to the law, we can't. You know what I'm saying? So seeing things like now, the Jessie Smollet thing.
Juicy Smollett?
So homeboy, he was the gay Tupac, right?
Yep.
From Power. No.
No, from Empire.
Empire.
He wasn't a gay Tupac, bro. He was the gay John Legend.
So, no, what happened was...
He sings like John Legend.
He's the gay John Legend, but he went on stage one time and said he feels like the gay Tupac.
That's insane.
So that was one of the biggest things before that.
Oh, so he was already capping before.
He was already wilding. People were already like, hold the fuck on. And this just kind of added fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
So, allegedly, what had happened... Well, we don't even have to say this shit anymore. So, what had happened was he alleged that he got beat and attacked in a hate crime.
And they like threw like acid on him.
That two masked men tied him up with like tried to hang him with a noose.
Yeah,
and
said this is Trump country.
And then it was later found to just be like two big black security guards.
Yeah.
That he had paid to stage to look like a hate crime to push whatever agenda he was probably trying to push.
Which is wild, dude. Like, what?
Yeah. And so
there's enough actual hate crimes that happen in America that you don't have to stage one.
And so this really just made everything look bad. Like, all the racist people were like, see, these things ain't even real to begin with.
Yeah.
And then now, like, it was one of those weird things where it all seemed kind of weirdly fake from the beginning. Like, why do you still have the noose on your neck? Like,
yeah,
certain things didn't add up.
You said they threw acid on you, but you look fine.
And so it was like, it all seemed like cap, but if you said that's cap, you seem kind of racist.
Yeah.
So everyone was just like, okay. And then more and more you start being like, hey, this is cap.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, yo, I fucking knew it. But now you're like, oof. But I was starting to feel a little racist there for a second.
Yeah, like you like had to check your pulse. Like,
yeah, I know.
Is it feeling racist?
So now this has happened a while ago, and the trial finally came around, and I
was still living in NAC when this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You over there wondering like if hate crime was about to pop up over there.
I know, bro. I was kind of like
out of retaliation or some shit.
Yeah.
Had your head on a swivel, like if you was an O Block or some shit.
Yo.
But I say all that to say that now he got found guilty by a jury of his peers.
Could be facing up to 3 years in prison.
But he's trying to appeal, and he's trying to basically, his claim is that like,
I don't know what he's trying to appeal though.
His claim was that they were not his friends. He paid them to train him for the show, and then they didn't like him, and then they did this hate crime after the fact.
Oh, so he's still trying to like do mental gymnastics and say...
I think he's still trying to be like, nah, I paid them.
Nah, bro.
But it was for something else.
Nah, bro, you're not the mental Simone Biles, bro. This ain't gonna land.
So that's what I heard he was trying to say. It's just weird because then they're like, yeah, no, not cap.
Yeah,
so he's still trying to appeal, but we'll see what him and his lawyers try to come up with.
Yeah.
So that's been the kind of thing where I'm like, I really want to get into law, so I just kind of know this shit.
Yeah.
Like kind of have a feeling of what the verdict and stuff is going to be beforehand.
You know what I think has happened in this country? I've become really apolitical. And like, I just stopped caring. Because there was just so much to care about that I'm just like, I can't.
I feel that. But it's fun. You don't have fun?
And then like the same thing with like picking a side. I'm like, I'm done choosing sides. I don't care anymore. Like both of y'all do, like both sides do like stupid crap.
Yeah, what I just do is just go against whatever the person in front of me feels.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
It's the look, so you're at the apolitical stage. I felt that.
Yeah.
Then you just go into like violence, right? You're so apolitical.
Then you just look.
You're so apolitical and so don't
You just
care.
wake up feeling like the Joker.
Yeah, you just like pick whichever side. Like I notice myself because Alicia be getting all mad at me about that shit, right? Because I don't think about it, but she says anything like, "Damn, that customer looks aggressive." Yeah, but that waitress really ain't been doing her shit. Like I've been seeing her, and she like just really ain't on top of it. So I kind of feel why he would be feeling so aggressive.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, so like it's always got to be the opposite of what I say, huh? It's always just got to be the opposite. And I don't even think about it, but that's just like where I go, where I so don't care. And I'm like, but I see it though.
Damn, why you being like this?
I don't be thinking about it. It's just the worst. But like sometimes I be seeing you, like you finally say something wild and I'll be like, but dog.
Yeah. I'm like, you made me into this, bro. What do you mean? Like when I was telling you about the Mexican flag that had like the rainbow colors, and I was like, that's the first time I understood. Like, dude, I got it. I understood it. I was like, what are you doing to my flag? Like,
True. I actually feel disrespected by the Blue Lives Matter flag.
Yeah.
By the thin blue line flag.
Yeah.
Defacing my flag, bitch.
Yeah, bro.
The fuck kind of colors is that? That ain't red, white, and blue.
It don't look cool.
Nah. I don't want to see it on James Harden's face.
Yeah. Damn.
So now
that he allegedly didn't know what it was.
He said he won't be on the internet like that. That's what Lil Baby said. He said he won't be online like that. He just saw it at the store and thought it looked cool.
But they don't look cool.
But he thought they did. We
That's
think
true.
they don't look cool, but if you just saw it, you'd be like, that's a kind of cool take on the flag.
No. Have you seen James Harden's shoes?
Dude, they're ugly as shit.
Yeah, I could see why he thought it looked cool.
Dude, he looks wild in general. He's a wild-looking individual.
Bro, he's been sucking balls this season, and it's been great.
Dude, great. But in quick sports talk, so I'm actually kind of excited about this. Shit got weird. So remember the Jake Paul fight that was supposed to be happening?
Yes, I'm actually surprised you haven't brought it up, and I was going to call you on it, but you brought it up, so whatever.
I have to get into it. Just one time for the one time. So
aren't you glad I know what it is?
I'm so glad. So basically, Jake Paul had this fight going on with Tommy Fury that's going to be happening December 18th.
Allegedly, he got his rib broke by his dad or something.
Some shit where he was training, and now, because of a medical condition, he's dropping the fight, right? Mind you, I was already kind of feeling underwhelmed. Like, I was excited at first, and then I kind of stopped caring. Like, I didn't watch any of the press conferences or anything, and that's me being a fan of what this has been becoming. So now he drops out, and so on the back burner, they get Tyron Woodley for the rematch. So they're still having this fight on the
And he
18th.
said, you knock me out, I give you 500 extra?
Because there was a rumor by Dylan Dennis that there was a no knockout clause in his previous fight.
Right.
Which Dylan Dennis is trying to insert himself wherever because Jake Paul refused to fight him after he gave him the first opportunity.
And what was it? Who's been saying he's been on the droids? That there's like a clause that he can't get drug tested?
Yeah, I think Dylan Dan has been saying that too. Everyone's been saying he's on the roids too for some reason.
But like at the same time, it's like I finally understand what you're saying. Where it's like, okay, if you're saying I'm this YouTube dude, who cares that I'm on the droids?
Right.
So it's like, if you're a real fighter. So
I'm actually kind of scared about this one because Tyron Woodley is like, I was worried that he was gonna like get him the second time if they run it back. It eases my mind a little bit as a Jake Paul fan that he's doing this on such a short notice. Yeah. But he's also still been steady training.
Yeah. I mean, he got the tattoo.
And so it all worked out in that case. So I'm kind of excited to see... so there's a rematch clause in Jake Paul's contract?
Oh, so like if he wins, they have to run it back.
So, of course, I'm down for a trilogy. So there could be a trilogy on this.
Okay.
So, and it seems like if it's in Jake Paul's contract...
That means if Tyron beats him,
they get a rematch.
They get a rematch.
So this will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of excited about this now, and we gonna be at the restaurant watching this shit on the 18th, dog.
Yeah.
So pull on up. But with all that being said, I think we pretty much got enough for today. I think we've got it all down.
Yeah. Bro, but before we get out here, I just want to say shouts out. My mother-in-law, she just passed her citizenship test.
Woo!
Bro, she pulled up. She was so excited when she got out, and then she like pulled up. She was like, I just had to have that thing on me, and I was like, whoa, they don't allow like weapons in the building. And she pulled out like she like opened her purse. She pulled out her rosary.
Dog,
and then she had another little blicky on hand too. She pulled out the little angel, and I was like, bro, hey! I was like, hey!
Just got on her side like that. That's how you have to come in, and that's how you got to stay prepared. So I'm glad now y'all on the road to citizenship.
Even like her husband, like my father-in-law was like, "Hey, they say you weren't supposed to bring like guns in there, bro."
So that's dope. It's cool that y'all on the path to citizenship. Y'all getting right, and y'all finally doing what America and God would want. For y'all to be Good old
Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah. They keep joking that it's like, all right, it's time to register for vote Republican.
Real talk,
Because that's what happens, bro.
The second y'all
you
cross
get
over,
paper.
the second y'all dry off, it's like,
No. That's not the second you dry off. The second you get papers, bro, you switch up. Because that's the one thing that was holding you back from the Republican side. Where it's like you're looking
Honestly.
at it and you're like, that look pretty good.
you look at the Republicans, but you look at the Democrats, you're like, fuck, they're the only ones that care about the illegals right now.
Yeah. But then you get it and you're like, I never cared. I only cared about me, dog.
That's the worst. We're the worst, dog. Like we be leaving ourselves. Like we.
It be your own.
That's honestly because that's the thing about white supremacists is they actually are like, yo, even the
hold it
white
down for-
trash.
they'll
even
hold
the
it.
white trash. All right, we know they're the worst. We still rock with them though. They're
Yeah.
still better than you.
Yeah.
Us, we're like, hey, that's fucking illegals over there, bro.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
they just be standing outside the Home Depot, like not getting real jobs and shit.
Yeah. Bro, the most ruthless ICE agents are the Hispanic ones.
Honestly, it's like they know. I know where to get them. I know where they always go. They're
Yeah.
just standing outside the Taqueria Cancun. Just
Yeah, bro. Yeah. No.
they're just in the pulgas,
Yeah, bro.
handing out fake IDs.
Yeah, bro. They the real informants, bro.
Honestly, bro, and that's kind of why I see where I'm like, bro, why don't we have enough like people? Because even like the Black Lives Matter community and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, all different types and spectrums. They're kind of like, yo, we still kind of have a common goal.
Yeah.
But for Mexicans or Hispanics in general, once you've got the goal is get papers.
Yeah.
And if you've got them,
You can do
you're
whatever.
good.
Yeah, like
Because if not, then what? It's annoying. Like if you really want to be real, then what? You got to become like an attorney.
yeah.
And then nothing ever actually happens. You know how many Mexican attorneys are just like, and then they end up having to switch up and be like, I don't fucking, we can't, there's a line.
Yeah.
So it's like because there's not enough unification.
Yeah, it's like what do you
And you don't have leverage. Like Black Lives Matter have like, yo, we citizens and y'all treating us like this.
Yeah.
Us, we not citizens, but we want to be treated better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so hard. We have no leverage.
So the most logical, easiest thing to do is to switch up and go Republican.
And then hopefully we get enough Republican Hispanics that they fucking do something on the low real quick.
Yeah. Yo, what if that was like the plan all along?
Right? Just get enough, just sneak them in. And then we have a majority Mexican
Bro,
Republican
do we have
Party.
to go to a Latinos for Trump rally to like figure out if it's really like an undercover thing?
Yo, what has been going on? Like, why do we still keep on putting Trump with the Republicans? Like,
I don't know, dude.
gone?
He's his own thing.
But if we still be saying, "Oh, you a Republican, you a Trump supporter," it's like, yo, Trump is gone.
Yeah.
Like most people just anti-Biden right now.
Yeah.
Like most people, just like, bro, it's one of those weird ones because everyone's been like finally been able to be open enough to be like, hey, can we say fuck Biden and not seem racist now?
Yeah.
Because now it seems like, hey, right?
Yeah.
We all good?
Go Brandon.
Dude, that's been the fucking wave. I was thinking about getting a flag here.
Cause you work blue collar, so all your homies are like, go Brandon, huh?
Honestly, but it's weird. We have low key a lot of like liberal, older, like blue collar guys. Like I just, like I said, I'm gonna go opposite, or if I'm trying to be kind, I'll go with whatever the fuck they got going on. So I'll be listening to them talk sometimes, and I'm like, oh shit, y'all really pro vaccine? That's wild. That's cool. Like I respect it, but like y'all really pro vaccine. And then I'll hear some other people, and they'll be like, man, you just it's what their opinion on the mandate is usually, right? That's usually how I can understand.
Yeah.
If they go like, I mean, these people just need to realize that they're just trying to help them, and it's really just going to make it better. Like, people are on their deathbed and still don't want to take it. That's ridiculous. And I'm like, I know where you stand. And some people being like, it's so crazy that if they make me say that I have to have a vaccine to go in there, I'm not supporting them. And I'm like, I feel that.
Yeah. No, wait, but before we get out of here, I know we've said it like before we get I just wanted to squeeze it in because I think there's such a juxtaposition to this topic of the fact that J.K. Rowling is not allowed to go to the reunion
For her own franchise?
for her own franchise that she created. She made everybody millionaires and they all crapped on her, bro. Traitors, bro.
I know I know they're traitors, but it's like, see, for me, I feel
You didn't have
that.
to say nothing because you could have been like, I don't personally agree, but it is what it is, and that's it. Shut your mouth. She made you a millionaire.
So, but the thing is, like, it sucks because, like, for her, she's gonna be straight off the entire whatever the fuck she does forever royalties. they still got to try to get other movie jobs.
True.
Like, they still got to work.
And like Daniel Radcliffe on anything good.
He was on The Hangover that one time, wasn't he?
But he was on the third one, the worst one.
Yeah, he's been on some other things, I think.
Nah, bro. Damn. Nothing to that height.
Nothing to that height, but you still got to, like, I don't know, like, sometimes kids want to go to private school or they want, like, a new jet or something, and you're like, fuck, I got to go do another movie.
Yeah.
And if, like, you transphobic now,
but see,
Hollywood ain't gonna hire you.
Well, this is what I've been thinking, and I don't know if this is like my weird, wild, like apolitical brain thinking, where it's like, okay, so a lot of these fans are like super liberal kids with like purple in their hair, they demming it up, and you know they're the ones that always tell you like, yo, you can't listen to Michael Jackson because of these cases.
Yeah,
they're the ones saying all that. So how come they can still have the Harry Potter binges? I'm not saying like. You know, I can understand like the R. Kelly one, but like there's certain ones that I'm like, yo.
But it's because she hasn't done anything illegal. She just has weird thoughts, right? So it's like with R. Kelly, like he did illegal things.
Yes, he did. But I'm saying Michael Jackson, he technically was never found guilty.
Well, that's the one that everyone's still up in the air about. Like everyone still jams. Like if you hear Michael Jackson, you're not going to really say anything.
Yeah.
You hear R. Kelly and people are like, who the fuck has the ox?
But even R. Kelly's lyrics are crazy.
Dude, they're wild. You're really like, yo, who is playing? Yeah. Who is feeling this way right now?
It's on. Give me a new drink.
Honestly. So that's the one where it's like with Michael Jackson, you're still like.
But like even like anyone else that like could have gotten canceled where it's like, no, you can't even enjoy their stuff, bro. Like, nah. Like when they were trying to do it to Kanye or like Dave.
Or even Travis Scott, probably, even though his stuff's still on the top. It's all a matter of the fans. That's the thing is, it's always the people who say things aren't fans. So how
come this is, I'm just pointing out the clear hypocrisy.
It's clear.
How come with Harry Potter, you're allowed to separate the art from the person, but when it came to like Kanye supporting Trump, when it came to Dave, when it came to like all these other people's like things that were not illegal to do or say, it's like, nah, come Netflix, get them off. Like
short answer, face. You don't have to see J.K. Rowling's face when you watch the movie.
Okay, you read her words.
Yeah, but you're not when you're watching the movies. Usually, like you're not reading her words. You're seeing someone act it.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like when it's with like these artists, you have to hear their voice. It's them.
And I went back. Well, I didn't fully go back, but I've tried to go back and see what she said. And
wild.
Kind of.
Or did she just say something like women or some shit like that?
Yeah. And I think like what she was trying to say is like, I'm trying to be a feminist, holding it down for the women. And it seems like dudes are like getting ahead of me somehow.
Yeah. So it is a weird one.
So that's where I think it's like the dude in the UFC the guy that was a Marine, transitioned to a woman, and now is just like beating the mess out of these women.
Yeah. So, like, I get that. I always notice that as, like, this is a wild thing.
Or, like, for the Olympics, like, if there are a trans woman being in the woman category, but then there's like, women who were born women, like, not being allowed because their testosterone level's too high.
Yeah.
Like, what's the line here?
Yeah, I feel that. So, it's a whole weird thing. And with her, it's like, she can still stay doing her thing, writing her transphobic books, because she wrote some weird-ass transphobic book after that.
No way.
Yeah, like, that was, like... Look it up. There's this whole thing about like, it's about like a guy who transitions as a woman and like some crazy shit happens or something like that. Mm-hmm. So she writes some weird ass book and she can keep on doing that. They just don't make movie adaptations. If her fans want to read it, they will. Mm-hmm. It's all people who aren't fans to begin with of anything that try to cancel people.
Right.
You have one or two people that are like, I'm no longer a fan.
Yeah.
And that's just for clout. They're probably still listening on the low.
Yeah, they're still watching the movies. Like,
but
I mean, yo, her royalties must be insane. Not only. I don't know why they play the Harry Potter movies during like Christmas time. I guess because it snows in the movies. But like she gets them
magic.
She gets them TV royalties like Halloween and Christmas. Yo, she wild.
She really wild.
She a wild girl.
But thanks for listening.
Yes.
We've been out here giving you the news of the week. Tell your Theas, tell your Theos. Hit that share, hit that like.
We're thugging.
Go hit the like if you like found something interesting in here.
Yeah.
And hit that share if you want someone else to hear it. And
hit that
bell.
dislike. Actually, you can. YouTube took it off.
True. Hit that bell so you know that when we have things dropping, because we're gonna have more things dropping.
And if we're on all streaming platforms. If you want to catch the video on Spotify, is there.
So pull up to Anchor, drop the anchor, and we'll see you next week. We out. Bye.